Daines from Montana is recognized from his office.
Chairman Brown, thank you. And I just want to start off by echoing Ranking Member Toomey's comments earlier about the markup that occurred, that was supposed to occur earlier this week. It is truly a shame, in my opinion, that we didn't move forward and get 5 of the 6 nominees approved. I wrote a letter in August supporting Chairman Powell's renomination. And I know, given past concern from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle about the use of the revolving door, frankly, I'm a bit surprised that they would not share a desire to fully vet this nominee before moving forward. Turning to my statement, 2021 was a year of rampant inflation, growing from 1.4% at the start of President Biden's term now to over 7.5%. Inflation grew faster and is continuing to grow faster than wages for the vast majority of workers, meaning that paychecks are effectively shrinking every month as this continues. On an annualized basis, real average hourly earnings dropped 1.7%. And of course, other parts of the economy are feeling the pain. Homebuilder confidence. I grew up the son of a homebuilder. Their confidence fell for the second straight month, in large part due to spiking lumber and steel prices, as well as months-long waits for cabinets, garage doors, countertops, and just about everything else you would find in a standard home. Energy prices are rising. Gas up 40% year over year, fuel oil up 46% year over year, and up 9.5% in just the last month. And I just found it, frankly, startling. We're seeing significant increases of Russian diesel being imported now at a time when we're watching the Russians invade Ukraine. This, of course, not going unnoticed by Montanans and Americans across the country. Consumer sentiment is lower now than it was at the beginning of the pandemic. In fact, according to a recent Gallup poll, 71% of individuals living in households with incomes of $40,000 or less say that price hikes have caused their family financial hardship. 71%. Of course, we were all told all throughout 2021 by President Biden's administration that this inflation was transitory. I've not heard the word transitory lately, and it will come down. And many of us on this side of the aisle were questioning this belief this would be transitory. We didn't buy it. And sadly, our predictions now have come true. They're continuing to insist that a peak is just around the corner. Well, even if it is, I've not seen anything that suggests that 7.5% is far too high. We just don't need inflation to peak soon. We need it to plummet. Now to a few questions. Looking back at the economy in February of 2020, we saw what I would describe as a Goldilocks economy. We had wage growth across the board. Inflation was in check. Wages were actually growing the fastest for individuals at the bottom of the wage spectrum. To me, this broad-based, non-inflationary growth was about as good as it gets. My question for the panel is this: would you agree that the pre-pandemic economy from February of 20 is better than the economic picture as we see it here today? A simple yes or no will suffice.
I will agree that the pre-pandemic economy on net was looking fairly strong. However, that pre-pandemic economy reflected many years of rather anemic growth. It was reflecting, even in terms of wage growth at the median, we had seen a little bit, but there had been decades where at the median there hadn't been robust wage growth. We know that there were gaps by race and ethnicity that had been longstanding. So I would argue that while in February of 2020, the bones of the economy were strong, that there were weaknesses there that this president felt we should address, which is why his economic agenda is designed to increase the economic capacity in order to generate more robust, sustainable growth that can be more equitably shared.
I'll weigh in on your question as well. The labor market is actually tighter now than it was then by some metrics. The unemployment rate was lower then than it is now, though not by much, 3.5 versus 4%. There are far more job openings now than there were then. The GDP, probably the most commonly cited indicator of economic health and growth is considerably faster now than it was then, growing, which is consistent.
Dr. Bernstein, are you suggesting we're better off right now than we were in February of 20?
I'm saying that there are it's not a simple yes/no question, is what I'm more than suggesting. It's what I'm articulating here. There are a set of economic indicators: job openings, GDP growth, child poverty. Child poverty is actually lower when you factor in the interventions in the rescue plan in 2021, probably, than it was in 2020. We only have estimates of that so far. And that's very much a function of the president's rescue plan. By pulling the recovery forward, by getting shots in arms and checks in pockets.
Dr. Bernstein, I just firmly disagree with that. We had $1 trillion of unspent COVID dollars at the end of 2020. And then on a purely partisan basis, our colleagues pushed another $2 trillion of federal spending into the economy in Q1 of 2021. And we warned this is going to have inflationary effects. So anyway, I just respectfully disagree.
Okay, well, I understand your point. But
the federal balance sheet now
Dr. Bernstein, hold on.
Okay, I'm out of time.
I want to answer the question that you...
Dr. Bernstein, wait a minute. Senator Daines, is that your last question? And then I'll
I think I'm out of time, Chairman Brown. I want to respect the committee.
Dr. Bernstein, a very short answer.
We just respectfully disagree.
Answer the question that you posed, Senator, and ticking off a set of indicators that are actually doing better now than they were then in the context of a 100-year pandemic, which I think is a remarkable achievement for our administration and those in Congress who helped us.
Well, let's keep in mind the federal balance sheet right now is trillions of dollars higher than it was before. Anyway, thank you.
Dr.